Guess what? You just bought a ticket to the gun show. This video is a simple 3-step tutorial that will show you how to draw the upper arm. All you have to do is follow my steps and shade along with me during the shading tutorial. Let's begin. Step 1. Draw the shape that you see. If you notice, it looks just like the back of the head of a cobra. Step 2. Add the other 3 shapes. Notice that it's about the same width as the cobra shape, but a little bit taller. Step 3. Add the arch to hint at the muscle in the forearm. Hey everybody, it's Merrill and welcome to the shading tutorial. I am purposefully slowing this down a little bit so that I could go into depth on how I use the markers. And of course I'm going to teach you a little bit about shading, a little bit about the anatomy of the upper arm, and so forth. But really I want to focus on the markers because I think that they're a superior way to add tones, especially if you combine them with pencil techniques. So I'm starting out and, well, let me describe this set first. I have a set of markers, actually 2. One is Prismacolor and one is Chartpak Ed, and each one of them has a bunch of tones, which you can tell the tone by the number that it's given. It goes through 1 through 10, and it's kind of like the B pencils, whereas the darker B pencils or the higher numbered B pencils will be darker. And the markers work just like this, and they work a lot faster than all of that hatching. And you're going to see me put colored pencils right on top of this. I like putting these base tones down in marker. It just goes a lot faster. It becomes easier in time. And I would like to compare this to using watercolor paint. You're essentially working in transparencies, and you put the layer down, and then you can do something over it. And in this case, in the case of this video, we're just, like I said before, we're going to do the colored pencil over this. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the muscles. We have 2 muscles that are flexed here. We got the shoulder muscle, and we also have the tricep muscle. In case if you're wondering, or if you have a science quiz, the shoulder muscle is called the deltoid, but we're just going to call it the shoulder muscle for this because I just want to focus on the shape. And I want to talk on how the shape really changes depending upon the activity. So if you look at what I'm drawing, the bicep is not flexed at all. It is pretty flat. And those 2 muscles, the bicep and the tricep, they work together. Straightening out your arm, if you hold your arm down straight, make a fist, you'll notice that your tricep is flexed. And if you pull something up towards your chest, you'll notice that your bicep is flexing. So, they're not both flexed at once. The muscles can certainly be taught just as they are here, but in terms of to capacity, no. In this one, it is the deltoid or the shoulder muscle and the tricep muscle, which is the muscle on the back of the arm. So the triceps is kind of a complicated muscle. There are a few parts to it. There's the long head part, which kind of wraps around the back of your arm. I don't want to get too technical, interior, so forth. But just think of it, the back inner part of your arm, and then there's the triceps brachii muscle, brachii. I always mispronounce that, and basically it's that one is a little bit to the back and the side, and that's what's bulging on this one. Lower in the arm, closer to the elbow, you see the tendon, but that is just at the back, the back right. But really, what I want you to get from this is it really something that you can get in your sketchbook, something that can help you with arms in your sketchbook. And really, the shading that we're seeing right now is very dependent upon the light. And what's really tricky is people ask me all the time, how do you draw an arm out of the head? And there's a lot of improvisation that goes to that. because you have to know which muscles work together. For instance, which one is flexed and which one is calm. And again, with this one, with this specific pose, it's the tricep that's flexed, the deltoid that's flexed, and the bicep is loose. And you have to factor in the light to that, and a little bit complicated, but the best thing that you can do is get a whole bunch of these sketches and really observe the arm, and you start to notice what goes together. I'm going to put a link in the description of some good books that I recommend for that. George Bridgman's book is, I think, the best, simply because it just breaks it down into simple shapes, a little bit more in depth than what I go into, with my videos when you're drawing from observation, but a way that you could break it down into shapes, and you really have to think three-dimensionally to perfectly get that. But, the beauty of that book and the reason why it's remained so popular over the years is because he so eloquently describes it to you. So, it's a true treasure. I will put the link in the video description. Anyway, you might have seen me use this big, it's a pastel, so I won't call it anything else. I used the big white pastel, and I've kind of worked out a process that's, a little bit different, but sometimes I use paint over the colored pencils. Sometimes I'll use the pastel that you see me use there. But essentially, the markers and, whenever I took watercolor class in the past, I would mess up. And, this just gives me a chance to put a semi-opaque layer over my drawing and, gives it more depth. And in terms of the tones, the colored pencils, you'll be able to go darker than the regular pencil. Graphite, you've seen me use it for most of my videos, but the shininess, and the lack of movement, you've seen me use the brush, but it's still not the same. I think you'll agree that, the depth that you can get with the shading, with the markers first, the colored pencils, it's superior to what you can achieve with the pencil. That's not to say you can't do good stuff with the pencil. You certainly can, but I really like that, extreme contrast. And, that's what I'm going for with this. Anyway, I hope that this video was helpful to you. Please take a second to rate and comment. And, I hope I helped you. So, thank you so much for watching.